Morning intuitives, getting a video out before I go to my second job, my 1099 job to unload a truck, because those of you that are in the industry, if you work at a private country club, you're closed on Mondays. And if you like the golf and you think, why can't I golf on Mondays? Trust me, you don't want to be there. They're spraying the nastiest of chemicals on those days. I know this for a fact because for 5 years I was that assistant superintendent in the rolling deathmobile spraying all the skull and crossbones stuff. I mean, like, the superintendent would keep the dogs in the office during these sprays. That should tell you something. And some of them, it's debatable how legal those products were. But that's not what this video is about. I haven't done a narcissist tactic video in a while. And one of the obvious big uh, Narcissist Tactics has been on my mind, so I'm going to get this out before I have to go unload a truck in the heat and be hot and dusty and miserable. Um, Projection. One of the biggest tools in the narcissist kit is projection, and essentially they falsely assign accusations to you based on what they would do in that situation. So when a narcissist is projecting, they're not saying anything about you. They're telling you about themselves. They're giving away who they are, their debauchery, their narcissism, their double standards, their sexism, racism, good old boy nature, corruption, nepotism, all that. They're saying what they would do in that situation and assigning it to you, because to a narcissist, I mean, again, they think they're the greatest thing that's ever existed. Everything they touch turns to gold. The seas part when they arrive, the trumpets blare. Queen Elizabeth would would greet them as their equal, because everything the narcissist has done, especially the narcissistic baby boomer, is the greatest thing ever. Ergo, in their mind, everybody thinks the way they think. And this can be in a wide variety of topics, be it cheating people at work as a manager, abusing people, not letting them take their vacation time, or not paying them holiday pay on a holiday, making them practice like extremely unsafe work procedures that OSHA would have a field day over. My favorite example that I've been put through is like running a pole saw and a fully extended bucket of a backhoe, and the bucket's iced over, and there's no harness or nothing, and you're working by power lines, and it's on unstable ground. Yeah, stuff like that would be an example of, the narcissist would shrug off like any type of workplace safety things, because you know what the fuck? Do as I say. You're lucky. You're lucky. You should feel thankful for the crumbs I cast you. You get to work for me, and I'm the greatest that's ever existed, and this place will collapse the day I leave. Everything I've done is the greatest thing that's ever happened. Don't question me. You cannot possibly know more than me, because I am me. That kind of stuff. And I've had bosses like that, and yes, they were baby boomers too, because my Gen X bosses weren't like that, and I don't think that's just a coincidence. So that's one example. Another big one would be, in like relationships and stuff. Narcissists over the years, have encouraged me to take advantage of women who are getting too friendly given their inebriated state, and they would basically say what they would do in that situation, and which is certainly not what I would do in that situation. They would do, in essence, whatever they wanted and be like, well, they didn't say no. We are baby boomers. Whereas I would be like, okay, let's get you in the bed and take your shoes off, and here's a Gatorade and a trash can to puke in, because you're going to need it. Drink the Gatorade. You'll feel slightly less shitty tomorrow morning. College. But that would be another thing where the narcissist would, blatantly tell you what they would do in that situation. And a lot of times in the narcissist projection is they try to excuse, whatever debaucherous scumbag exploitative thing that they would do, like the projection that they're assigning to you. They try to also explain it away as a cultural norm, like, well, that's just what everybody does. That's what you're supposed to do. And of course, to a narcissist, any action that their mind says that they would do is by definition what you're supposed to do. So when a narcissist is projecting whatever they're projecting on you, as I said, it can take many forms. They are saying exactly who they are, how scummy they are. They are exposing themselves. So understand, when a narcissist is using projection on you, they're not in essence accusing you of those things. They're, as I said, giving away exactly what they would do in that situation and trying to rationalize it and normalize it as, something that's acceptable and not, the complete debaucherous, exploitative, scumbag horror show that is the wheels in the narcissist's mind. They always assume that people are plotting against them. A lot of times the narcissist will project that, and that, of course, is because they are always plotting against other people. To a narcissist, especially a covert one, the world is their chessboard, and everybody is just their pawn for them to use as they see fit, because again, they see themselves as better than everybody. Like, everything the narcissist does is like anointed from God. Their words of wisdom are to be, cherished and etched in stone. So of course, anything that they would do in a given situation is what everybody should do. It should be acceptable and normal and not be questioned, because again, the way they're, whatever they think, whatever their mind tells them to do, is by definition right. They don't even have to rationalize it in every way. Just by the fact that they, the great narcissists, are thinking it, makes it true. So dealing with projection can be very angering, especially for those of us like on this channel that greatly value integrity, because a narcissist does not. Everything is a means to an end for them. Everybody is not only exists to be used by the narcissist, but they should feel thankful and grateful that the narcissist deemed them worthy enough to be used by this, godlike being. It's like, well, okay, I played you and took advantage of you for 4 months, but you got to have a fling with me. I'm like, I should be carried around on a Sadie Gestatoria, which that's a old school Catholic thing. It's a portable throne. You can look it up. But that's, a narcissist believes they should be paraded down the street in one of those, and everybody should, go up and ask for the narcissist's blessing and approval, because they really do, in a lot of cases, think that highly about themselves. I know, my main narcissist, my mother's older sister that I refer to and done videos about as the queen bee narcissist, does see herself like that. Like, if she were to go to London, she would truly see herself as Queen Elizabeth's equal. Like, she truly, truly sees herself as like the Queen of Chester County. And her son is, I guess, the Crown Prince of Coatesville, who in a lot of ways is like Charles. But that's how deep their delusion goes. And another big thing with their projection, they'll go into like what you should do in a situation, not just to take advantage or cheat somebody, but also to game the system. So another big one that I've dealt with, if a narcissist hears you complaining about the old boys club or nepotism or cronyism, that'll piss them off right away. And they'll start to accuse you of like, well, those, A, that's the way it's supposed to be, but B, you should be lucky systems like that exist, because that's, the only way people your age group would ever get anywhere. Oh, we are baby boomers. When the reality is that, at least where I'm from in Chester County, all these high and mighty narcissistic boomers do owe their careers to, either one of or a combination of nepotism, cronyism, the old boys club, things of that nature. And if you, and I have gotten them to admit that, then that's when they'll kick into defense mode about that's the way it's supposed to be, and tradition, and they have a bunch of like random excuses. And of course they deserve the higher pay that they got, and they should be hiring people at much lower rates now, because nobody can ever be as good as them. They did it all. They did it all right. They did it all better. They did it all from day one, because they're baby boomers. They rule everything. They're just the greatest people that have ever existed, and all of humanity has just been a slow crawl to their birth, or their, descension from the stars to bless the world as the pinnacle that the world will ever see. And once they're gone, the world should end, because without them, what's the point, right? But for the time being, they'll project on us their own debauchery and exploitation and essentially accuse us of things that they most likely have done over the years, and will try to rationalize it away because of course nothing they do can be wrong, and they can't take advantage or hurt anybody. That person, as I said, should feel honored for just being chosen by them. So that's one of the main tactics of a narcissist: projection. Be aware of what it is. Be aware of how to call them out. Catch them in a, like a logical, use facts and logic against them. It's usually your best bet, especially if you have data and stuff on your phone. Depending on what your argument is, you can do that. So that's probably the best way to, and of course, mirror. And by mirror, I mean throw it back on them. If a narcissist is accusing you of something through projection, and or you're fairly certain of that the narcissist has actually done the thing they're accusing, bring it up, talk about it, be like, well, didn't you do this, and this? And then you'll get, but and then they'll backpedal real fast, and that's always entertaining. So remember, trust your intuition when it's time to call the narcissist out. Never sell out your integrity to a narcissist, no matter what they can promise you or who they are.